Good morning, class 9 students. I welcome you all on this virtual digital learning platform provided by Jagriti Classes. Now we'll proceed further in our unit, that is, we were doing chapter 3 of class 9th. Chapter 3 of class 9th, that is, atoms and molecules. So we'll study the further details about atoms and molecules. The topic of today's class would be mass. The topic we'll study will be mass. So we'll basically study mass. You all know it is the weight of any component, okay? In chemistry we know mass and weight are one and the same thing. But when you will deal with physics, then you'll understand that mass and weight are two different parameters. For this sake of chemistry, we are discussing the topic about mass. And this mass is generally of three categories. You have to study three kinds of masses. The first category would be the atomic mass. And the second, this is atomic mass. This is basically fixed. You have to learn the values of the atomic mass of different atoms. Then you have molecular mass. Molecular mass, you know the mass of any molecule. Molecular mass symbolizes the mass of any molecule. It can be predicted or it can be calculated when we know molecules are what? Molecules are the group of two or more atoms. Molecules are the group of two or more atoms. So if we want to study the molecular mass, then we can simply know the atomic mass, and if we add up all the atomic masses of the atoms present in a given molecule, we would get its molecular mass. And the next category which you should know is the formula unit mass. The third one is the formula unit mass. Formula unit mass is calculated for ionic compounds. Okay, so it is basically calculated for ionic compounds. And the way to calculate is the same. Let's suppose you have an ionic compound which is AB, which is made up of two ions, which is A plus, that is cation, and B minus. Here B minus is anion, A positive is the cation. So if AB is made up of two ions, so we say that AB is an ionic compound because it is made up from ions. And if you study the mass of these both ions and you sum these masses, let's suppose the mass of A is 2 units and the mass of B is 5 units. So the total mass, when you add up 2 and 5, you would get the total mass of AB, that would be 7 units. So this what we call is formula unit mass. When you deal with ionic compounds or the ions, then you call the mass as formula unit mass. When you are dealing with molecules or neutral compounds, that is, when you are dealing with the group of atoms, you call this thing as a molecular mass. And for the atoms, you have your atomic mass. Now we'll discuss the atomic mass of the first 20 atoms. So for discussing the atomic mass, here I would write the symbol of the element. Then comes the atomic number. The atomic number of the element or the atom. And then comes its atomic mass. I told you earlier that atomic mass is generally the double of the atomic number, but it is a general rule, it is not followed, you'll see. Okay? So the first element which we have here is hydrogen, and the symbol for hydrogen is capital H. The atomic number of hydrogen is 1, and its mass is also 1. I have already told you in the previous lectures that atomic number means the number of electrons present in any atom. And what does atomic mass means? It is the sum of number of protons and neutrons which are present inside the nucleus of an atom. Okay, atomic number is represented by capital Z, whereas atomic mass, which is also called mass number, it is represented by capital A. So this is what we have to study. Then the next atom with the atomic number 2 is our helium. And the mass of helium, it is following the general rule that the mass is just double. So its atomic mass is 4. Similarly, you can get a table in your book. It is drawn already. The basic elements, they are listed from 1 to atomic number 20. There you will observe that the atom chlorine, which has an atomic number of 17, and its atomic mass is 35.5. The reason why its atomic mass is 35.5, actually chlorine has two isotopes. Like we discussed in the previous class that carbon had two isotopes, C12 and C13. So this chlorine atom also has two isotopes, and if we find the average of the mass of both the isotopes, then you get the average atomic mass as 35.5. Then you can take the example, any example. If you take calcium, its atomic number is 20 and the mass is 40. So likewise, you have to learn at least the elements coming from atomic number 1 to atomic number 20. This will help in the further topics, that is when we'll write the symbols and the formulas of the compound. There is a topic given in your books, that is writing the formulas. When we'll deal with writing formulas, then you should know two basic requirements. To write the formula of any given compound, you should know the symbol, okay, and you should also know its valency. Valency we'll discuss when we'll discuss the topic of writing formulas. But I want you to learn all the symbols and all the atoms from atomic number 1 to atomic number 20 at least. So it would be easier to you, okay? So this is what we dealt with atomic mass. Atomic mass is a given value. You have to learn the atomic mass of all the atoms. The next we are discussing is our second category of mass, that is molecular mass. What do you mean by molecular mass? Molecular mass simply means the mass of a molecule. The mass of given molecule is called molecular mass. And you all know what is molecule. We have just discussed it recently. Molecule is a group of two or more atoms. When two or more than two atoms combine together, they group together, then we say they form a molecule. We know that why the atoms group together, because atom cannot exist independently. It is not stable. So these atoms make a group. They combine together and they form a molecule, okay? And molecule is, we have read the properties of molecules, that is molecules are capable to exist independently. They are capable of independent existence. So now we are dealing with molecular masses. Let's suppose, for example, we have a molecule which is water. I take one molecule of water. So in one molecule of water, we have two atoms, that is I have hydrogen and oxygen. When two atoms of hydrogen combine together with one atom of oxygen, then I obtain a water molecule. Similarly, so here the ratio of number, this we are talking for the ratio of number of atoms present in a molecule. And here we will see the ratio of mass. Okay. So here, as we see the ratio of number, here number of hydrogen atoms are 2 and numbers of oxygen atom is single, that is one oxygen atom. So the number of hydrogen to oxygen in this water molecule is 2:1. Whereas if you see the mass of one hydrogen is 1 unit. So the mass of two hydrogens would be 2 unit. So according to the mass, we have 2 units of hydrogen and oxygen. The mass of single oxygen atom is 16. Yes, this you will get to know from the table. So we'll write that it is 2:16. When you simplify this ratio, when you simplify the ratio, that is 2/16, you will get 1/8. So this ratio can be written as 1:8. The ratio of hydrogen to oxygen based on their masses is 1:8. Now the next molecule which we can take an example is ammonia. Okay, ammonia is NH3. Then can you tell me the number of how many atoms are present in ammonia? A total of 4 atoms are present in NH3 molecule, that is ammonia molecule. 1 atom of nitrogen is combined with 3 atoms of hydrogen to form ammonia. So here we have 2 atoms, nitrogen and hydrogen. Similarly, I am writing the atoms, that is nitrogen and hydrogen. Can you see any other atom? No, only 2 atoms are present in ammonia, nitrogen and hydrogen. How many nitrogen atoms are present? By number we are talking, nitrogen atom is 1. And how many hydrogens do we have? We have 3 hydrogens. So the ratio of nitrogen to hydrogen as per the number ratio would be 1:3. And talking about the mass ratio, it is very simple. Let's see. The mass of one nitrogen atom is 14 and we have just one nitrogen, so the mass would be 14. And the mass of one hydrogen atom, mass of one single hydrogen is 1 unit. So the mass of 3 hydrogens would be 3 unit. Now you cannot more simplify these because these 14 and 3 do not have any common divisor. So you get the simplest ratio as 14:3. To get, if I ask you a question that to get 34 grams of ammonia of NH3, how much nitrogen and hydrogen do you require? So you get that if I combine 14 grams according to mass I am talking, okay, because here mass is asked. If I combine 14 grams of nitrogen with 3 grams of hydrogen, then I get 17 grams of ammonia. 17, how 17 came? 14 nitrogen combined with 3 hydrogen, 14 plus 3 gives 17 grams of ammonia. Here it is asked 34 grams. 34 is just double of 17. So for getting 34 grams of ammonia, what you take double of nitrogen and double of hydrogen. That is, double of 14 is what? 28. So you will have to take 28 grams of nitrogen combined with, here for 17 grams we have 3 grams hydrogen. So here for double the amount of hydrogen, we would have 66 grams of hydrogen. So this would give us about 34 grams of NH3. So this is what we find molecular mass. I have also discussed one question in the previous lecture and I have written there, find the atomic masses. It should not be find the atomic masses. There I should have mentioned find the molecular masses, okay? Because you know when more than two atoms join together, then they form a molecule. And the mass of molecule will be called molecular mass and not atomic mass. So do correct that question. In the question you have to write the molecular masses of the following molecules. Like find the molecular mass of water, then the molecular mass of water will be what? Let's see. To find the molecular mass of water, how you'll find? We have two atoms here, that is hydrogen and oxygen. And hydrogen are how much in amount? There are 2 atoms of hydrogen. So how to solve this? For finding the molecular mass of complete water molecule, you have 2 into molecular or atomic mass of hydrogen. Okay, this is 2 into H. That is 2 into atomic mass of hydrogen. Plus the next atom is what? Oxygen. So we have atomic mass of oxygen. If we add all the atomic masses given in our compound, then we would get the total molecular mass. So this implies 2 into atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So we get 2 into 1 plus the next atom is oxygen. It is only 1 in number. So atomic mass of oxygen is 16. Then we get 2 ones are 2 plus 16, a total of 18 units. So one molecule of water, H2O, a single molecule of H2O has a molecular mass of 18 units. I hope this is simple. Now let's take one more example. The question is the same. That is, you have to find the molecular masses. You have to find the molecular mass of the following molecules, or you may say compounds. Compounds are what? When 2 or more than 2 atoms combine together in a fixed ratio, we call them compounds. And we saw all the ratios. So these all, we can say these are compounds because they have a fixed ratio. When 3 hydrogens would combine with 1 nitrogen atom, then we would get NH3, that is ammonia. Okay, so these are compounds. Find the molecular mass of the following compounds. The first one, let's take here, it is our ammonia, NH3. So how you'll find the molecular mass? NH3 has 2 atoms, 2 kinds of atoms. First atom is nitrogen and the next one is hydrogen. Nitrogen is only 1, that is 1 nitrogen atom, and hydrogens we have 3 atoms. So now how to find? We take atomic mass of nitrogen, then we have our next atom, hydrogen. But hydrogen is not single. There 3 hydrogens are present. So what we do is, we multiply the atomic mass of hydrogen with 3. So we get 3 into atomic mass of hydrogen. Okay, on solving this, what we would get, the atomic mass of nitrogen is 14. So atomic mass of nitrogen, we can write 14 plus 3 multiplied by atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. 3 into 1. We get here 14 plus 3 into 1 is 3, and the total mass we get is 17. You can write 17U. We discussed earlier that atomic mass is measured in a unit. You can write U, which stands for unified mass, and you can also write 17 AMU. AMU is atomic mass unit. Okay, we discussed that before earlier. The atomic mass was derived relative to oxygen or relative to carbon, so we wrote AMU. But now the unit has been changed. We write U, and U symbolizes to unified mass. So for one molecule of ammonia, the total mass which we get is 17U. Can you find the mass of CO2? One molecule of carbon dioxide, the mass of a molecule of carbon dioxide. Yes, it's pretty simple. What you do is you see how many atoms are present. We have one carbon atom here and 2 atoms of oxygen. So what we do is we write atomic mass of carbon plus, for oxygen, how many oxygen atoms are present? 2. So what we'll write? 2 into atomic mass of oxygen. Atomic mass of oxygen atom. On solving this, what we get? Atomic mass of carbon is 12. So we have atomic mass of carbon as 12 plus 2 into atomic mass of one oxygen atom is 16. Okay, so we get 12 plus 16 into 2, which is 32. On adding these, we get 44. So the molecular mass of CO2, one molecule of CO2 has a mass of 44 units. So this is what we are talking about, molecular mass. I hope you have understood atomic mass. Atomic mass means you have to learn each atom, the mass of each atom from the table. Okay? If you do not have the table, you will find the table in many books, in many reference books, or you can find it easily on the internet. Please do learn the table, because you cannot every time predict the atomic masses. I have already told you, like, the atomic number of hydrogen is 1 and its mass is also 1. The next element which we have, that is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium and boron. These are the first 5 elements. The atomic number is in the particular order, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But atomic mass is not every time the double of the atomic number. You can see the hydrogen atomic number is 1, but mass is also 1. For helium, the atomic number is 2, and if you double, you get the mass as 4. Okay, this is the general value. But for lithium, which mass you should get? I said generally the mass is double of the number. So you should get 3 plus 3, that is 6. But the mass of lithium is 7. Then you have beryllium here. The mass of beryllium is, you should get, this is what we get, a normal value. Okay, that is double of our atomic number. Here for beryllium you have a mass of 9 units. And for boron, this is your atom boron. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. For boron you have the mass just double. If you double, that is 5 into 2, you get a 10 unit mass, and this is the mass of boron. These are the first 5 atoms. Then coming to the next, okay, I am making the table. I am not writing their full name. It is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. Then comes carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. Okay, so the atomic masses of these would be, I am writing the atomic number and then the atomic mass. The atomic number, after 5, the atomic number will be in particular sequence, that is 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. But their masses, you have to learn the values. I am just encircling the values which are just double of the number, but rest values you have to keep in mind. Okay? So for carbon, the mass is double, that is double of 6, 12. Then for nitrogen, the general rule is applicable, that is the mass is double of the number. Mass is 14. Then again for oxygen you have 8 into 2, which gives 16. But here you should have how much? 9 into 2 is 18. The double of 9 is 18. But the mass which you get is 19. So you have to remember this value, okay, 19. And for neon you have again the general mass, that is double of the number, which is 20. Now the next atoms which are coming, these are the first 10 atoms. Now the next atoms are sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium and calcium. So you make a table in your notebooks. Right here, the first column would be name of the atom. Then would be the symbol of the atom. Okay? Then would be its atomic number, and then comes the atomic mass. So the first elements I have discussed: hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Then is sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, capital P stands for phosphorus, sulfur. Then comes chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. The atomic number you don't have to remember them, just remember the name and symbols in a particular order. Then atomic number is the simple counting, okay? After 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, then comes 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. These are the atomic number. For mass you have to remember, because mass is not every time the double of atomic number. So the mass of sodium should be what? If it was double, then it should be 11 plus 11, that is 22. But the actual mass here is 23. Then mass of magnesium is just the double of number, that is 24. So it follows our general rule. Mass of aluminium should be 26. 13 plus 13 gives you 26, but its actual mass is 27. Then the mass of silicon, it should be how much? It should be 28, and it is 28. Then you have phosphorus. The mass of phosphorus is 31. The mass of sulfur is 32. Okay, so this is the double mass, double of the number. The mass of chlorine, I have repeated it, I think 10 to 100 times. It is 35.5. It is based on the average mass of its isotopes. Then the mass of argon is again 40. Okay, this gives you 39, and this is again 40. We'll study in higher classes that this argon and calcium, which have different atomic numbers. See, their atomic number is different, 18 and 20, but their mass number or their masses are same. Such species, such chemicals which show same atomic numbers, different atomic numbers, the chemicals which show different atomic number but same mass number, such are called as isobars. Yesterday we discussed the term isotopes. Isotopes was just reverse. The atoms which have same atomic number but different mass number. Okay, the atoms having same atomic number but different mass number. For example, what were the isotopes? Isotope, okay, I'll write it in the next slide. See, you have two terms, isotopes and isobars. Isotopes means, iso means same. Okay, so it is the species having same atomic number but different mass number, or you can say different mass, and just reverse to it is isobars. Isobars have same mass number. How to remember them? But different atomic number. Okay, iso means, the word iso means same. iso का मतलब है same, and bars, from bars you can say भार, उनका भार same है, उनका mass same है. So same, this can be called as the mass. Okay, because this is what? Bhar, mass. Isobars means they have the same mass number. So if mass number is same, then the difference would be automatically in the atomic number. And here what you have for isotopes, you have their same atomic number but different mass numbers. Okay, isotopes we discussed for an example. This is actually, there is no topic, such topic, but I am discussing so that your concept should be cleared enough. Isotopes, for example, you can take the isotopes of carbon. The atom carbon has an atomic number 6. Its atomic number is 6. But you have two isotopes of carbon. That is, its mass can be either 12 or 13. Okay, so this is isotope. Carbon has two isotopes, C12 and C13. This 12 and 13 are what? It is their mass. So you can see they have the same atomic number but different masses. Coming on to this, if you have seen in our slide, okay, that argon and calcium, they show the same mass number but their atomic number is different. The atomic number of argon is 18 while the atomic number of calcium is 20. So argon and calcium are the examples of what? Isobars. Argon and calcium are isobars. That is, the atomic number of argon is 18. The atomic number of calcium is 20. But their mass number or the masses are same. That is 40 and 40. So the species which have same mass number, isobars. Let's now talk about our third category of masses, that is formula unit mass. Formula unit mass is just the same. If you have ionic compound, then you write that it is a formula unit mass. Formula unit mass is calculated for ionic species, ionic compounds. For example, you know what is ionic compound. We have discussed the properties also of ionic compounds in the last chapter. So ionic compounds, I am taking an example of NaCl, sodium chloride. So to find the mass of ionic compound, the method is same. You have to find the mass of sodium, you have to find the mass of chlorine, add up the two masses, you will get its molecular mass. But we don't say that it is a molecular mass. When your chemical compound is made up of ions, then you say you have to find its formula unit mass. It's just the difference. Agar compound ions का बना है, then you write formula unit mass. Agar compound neutral species का बना है, then you write it is the molecular mass. So how will you find? You will find the atomic mass of sodium, it is 23, plus the atomic mass of chlorine, which is 35.5. It gives you an approx mass of what? 58 units. Similarly, you can find the mass of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate will have which kind of mass? It would have a molecular mass or it would have a formula unit mass. Because you see your given compound calcium carbonate is made up of ions. It is made up of calcium 2 plus and carbonate 2 minus ion. So because this calcium carbonate is made up of ions, we say that it has a formula unit mass. But the method to calculate is the same. The mass of calcium here would be what? The mass of calcium is 20. For finding the mass of carbonate, you see carbonate is made up of two different atoms. So the mass of carbon is 12 and the mass of 3 oxygen, which is 3 into the mass of 1 oxygen. Mass of 1 oxygen is 16. So on adding all these, you get approximately a mass of 100. So the mass of calcium carbonate is 100 units. Likewise, you can find the mass. Okay, I hope this topic is clear. Then our next topic comes types of molecules. Molecules can be categorized into two types. That is molecules of elements. They can be molecules of elements, or we have molecules of compounds. You know, let's suppose we are taking an example to differentiate what do you mean by elements and compounds. If you have an atom oxygen, okay, element means when same atom join together, when the same atom combine, then you get an element. But when different atoms combine together in fixed ratio, when different atoms combine together in a fixed ratio, then it is a compound. Okay, we have already done the difference between mixtures and compounds. You have read it. So compounds are when different atoms combine together in a fixed ratio, then the entity is called compounds. For example, if I take an oxygen atom, okay, when two oxygen atoms combine together, then you get O2. So O2 is an element because same atom, that is oxygen atom, is combining together. If two oxygen atoms combine, then O2 is called oxygen gas. If I combine 3 oxygen atoms together, then the resultant product would be O3, and O3 is known as ozone. So these are the elements of oxygen atom. See here, same atom is combining, that is here all oxygens are combining. But for compound, different atoms combine together. For example, water is a compound. Why? Because in water we have two different atoms. That is, two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Two different atoms, hydrogen and oxygen, are combining together, and that too in a fixed ratio. We already discussed the mass ratio and the number ratio of atoms in water. Okay, you can refer to the previous slides. So water is a compound. Ammonia, which we discussed, is a compound because in these two dissimilar atoms, different atoms, that is nitrogen and hydrogen, are combining. While if same atoms combine together, they form a element. So this is the molecules of elements and molecules of compound. And then I have told you a term, atomicity, in the last class. What do you mean by atomicity? Atomicity gives the number of atoms, कितने atoms आपस में combine हो रहे हैं. Like in oxygen, the atomicity is 2 because 2 oxygen atoms are combining. For ozone, the atomicity would be what? For ozone, the atomicity would be 3 because in preparation of ozone, these 3 oxygen atoms are combining together. So the atomicity is 3. If the atomicity is 1, then we call it monoatomic. If the atomicity is 2, then it is called diatomic. And when the atomicity is 3, it is called what? A triatomic element. If atomicity is more than 3, then we call it polyatomic. The examples of polyatomic can be what? Like phosphorus. 4 phosphorus atoms combine together. So it is P4. Or sulfur, we can say S8. So these are the polyatomic species. So this is what the molecules of elements and the molecules of compounds. Now we have a next term, that is ion. You have to know what do you mean by the term ions. So ions is any chemical species which carries a charge on it is called ion. So ion, it is a chemical substance which carries, ion is a chemical compound which carries a charge on it. The charge carried may be positive or negative. It can be positively charged, or it can be negatively charged. So ion, anything which has a charge, and the charge can be plus or minus. So we are saying it can be positively charged ion or a negatively charged ion. Positively charged ions are called cations. Remember this word. What do you mean by cation? Cation is a type of ion which has a positive charge on it, and the negatively charged ions are called anions. Okay. Some students get confused and they do not remember that cations means positive or negative. So I have a simple trick for you. See, to remember them, the word cation contains an alphabet T, and this T is similar to what we see is a positive charge. This T makes a positive charge. So you can remember that cations, as they contain the alphabet T, so they are positively charged. And this anion, if I break this anion into 3 parts, that is a capital A, then comes a capital N, then I have the word ion. So if I try to expand this, A is A, N means negative. So we get anion is a negative ion. So you get anion is what? The negatively charged ion. And cation, it contains the alphabet T, and T resembles to the plus sign. So cation is positively charged and anion is negatively charged. I hope now you will not get confused any time about what do you mean by cations and what do you mean by anions. We can have some examples of cations and anions. We have an ionic compound NaCl. NaCl contains 2 ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus. Now tell me, sodium ion is a cation or an anion? Correct. This is your cation here, and the negatively charged species is your anion. Can you tell me the cation and anion in calcium chloride? You know calcium chloride is made up of two ions, that is calcium 2 plus and 2Cl minus. So see here, your calcium has a +2 charge. Because it contains a charge, we say it is a ion. And because it has a positive charge, so it is what? A cation. So here we have calcium cation and chloride as our anion. So this is the difference between cation and anions. Okay? Now next we have a term that is valency. Next you should know what do you mean by valency. If you know about valency, then it would be really easy to make the formulas of the compounds. Okay? So valency means, the definition of valency is, it is the combining capacity. It is the combining capacity. This is just a short definition, very easy. Valency is the combining capacity of any atom. Now what do you actually understand by the term combining capacity? Okay, we are all humans. For understanding, I am giving you an example. We are all humans, we have two hands. So it generally shows the hands which an atom has. Any element does not have any actual hands, but for understanding the term valency, we can suppose like we have two hands. So I can handle two objects, okay, one in each hand. So if we say that the valency of carbon is 4, it means carbon has how many hands? 4 hands, okay. This means that at a single time, carbon can combine with 4 different atoms. That is, carbon atom has a valency of 4, which means carbon can combine with 4 different atoms, let's say A, B, C and D. This is what valency means. Valency means the combining capacity. That is, a given atom can combine to how many other atoms. This is called valency. For example, there is an example given in your books that what is the valency of octopus. You know octopus has 8 hands and it can join with or attach with 8 things at a single time. So the valency of octopus would be 8. But here we do not have to deal with plants, animals or humans. We have to study our chemical compounds. So the valency of carbon is 4 because it can join to 4 atoms. The valency of nitrogen is 3. Why? Because at a single time it can form 3 bonds or it can join with 3 atoms. In this, carbon can join with 4 different atoms, or what can we have? That 3 hands of carbon are joined to a same atom and the left one hand is joined to a different atom. It may be possible that the carbon is joined with all the 4 bonds to the similar atom. But every time, valency means every time it will make 4 bonds, either with 4 different atoms or with 3 same and 1 different, anything. But it will always form 4 bonds. So the valency of carbon is what? The valency of carbon is 4. This is what do you mean by the term valency. So this was all about today's class. What is valency? You should know. Now in the next class, we'll discuss the formulas, how to write the formulas, okay? This would be our next topic. Writing chemical formulas. But before actually starting this, I want you to learn 2 things. One, the table of atomic mass, which I told you recently. You have to learn the symbols of the atoms. Because for writing the formula, we require 2 things. First is the symbol, and then you have to learn the valency. Okay? If you know both these things, then the writing formula topic will be very easy for you to understand and make the formulas. So before this, I think everything is completed. Okay? So this is what we'll study in the next lecture. You have to learn the symbols and the valencies of all the atoms which I told you. That is from 1 to 20. This was our today's class. Thank you, students, for joining. If you have any kind of doubts, you can ask me anytime. Thank you. Be safe. Stay home. Stay safe.